Alrighty, yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis Rick here, back with some more DFO Blitz, this time on my Inquisitor. Now, guys, this is the third female priest I've shown in the DFO Blitz series. I'm going in order from, well, if you guys didn't know, I'm going in order from my least fun to my most fun female priest, if that was not the case. So you can obviously tell where I rank this character, and by process of elimination, you can kind of figure out which is my favorite. We'll show that one off next time, guys, but we are currently in the Tower or Chamber of Terror, guys. One of my least favorite scenarios, by the way, in the whole game. I mean, seriously, this scenario is some awful stuff. It's just terrible mobs. It's just annoying. What can I say, guys? But using some assist action, which, by the way, you've probably been using an assist of some sort to level up pretty quickly. Starts to die down a little bit here when you get into Pandemonium, just because the scenarios are not nearly as easy as they used to be, but you can still get some good utility out of them. Like, for instance, this AoE on the Swift Master, I really do like using that, so you'll see me using that periodically. Just not really for damage, mostly just for grouping enemies together now. Guys, obviously, like I said already, this is my third favorite female priest, and she's really, she's probably, surprisingly, even though she is the battle axe of the group, to use as a battle axe, she's probably the most complex one. You don't usually suspect that with classes that are, you know, doing a lot of the slow-hitting classes, you know, the ones that do the big hitter classes. She, however, her systems make it so that she's probably one of the most in-depth. I really haven't, you know, I'm going to explain it, what her system really is, but you can kind of see for yourself. She has fire-based attacks on everything, and you can see this kind of jarring animation of the fire, but all of her skills, as long as you have the buff active, will have a fire effect on it. You can see all of her normal Inquisitor skills will have it. Pretty good AoE on this, and, you know, so obviously her fire is her main gimmick, but the fire on its own really isn't the purpose. I mean, her passive and stuff, she gets benefits from the fire that she's inflicting, but the real aspect of it is the oil flask, or flags, flask or something like that, which is basically a Molotov cocktail. It's mapped to my Q skill right now. You can see me throw it right there. It has a lot of various uses, okay? Obviously, you saw me throw it. I left a puddle on the ground. That can be ignited itself. I can throw that on enemies before or after I decide to incinerate them with my fire attacks. You can see I also have a different spray attack, which then I can detonate before or after, like I said. So right there, I hit him with the oil bomb before and then detonated with the fire attack, and it did a certain kind of explosion. But if I do it the other way around, if I incinerate first and then throw the firebomb afterwards, you can see I actually get a different kind of explosion. I get a cross explosion, which is obviously a little bit different. And the cross explosion is like a little hold, does a bit of damage. Right here, I'll do it again, and it's a hold and a big burst of damage. But like I said, the two different ones are a little bit different. They do different things. If you do the incineration first, for instance, you have access to different moves. Really, it's a pretty in-depth system for how simple you would think it is, honestly. It's just one skill, really. All of your other skills revolve around it. You know, you're doing the fire damage and all that, but really, you're just waiting until you get the flake so you can incinerate them with your Molotov oils. And obviously, you see you have one skill, which is a really good AoE, which is not surprising with a class like this. Good AoEs. Grouping right now, like you see, for instance, I'm grouping them up there and then hitting them with the flags, which is finishing them off. It doesn't seem very noticeable, but when you play it yourself, you'll notice that is the key part of this character. Straight up. It's not the fire attacks, it's what you do afterwards. You can spray the fire, or the oil, like I did right there, for a little bit more AoE coverage. And that about covers it, guys. You can spray it, throw it on the ground, detonate it later. Spraying looks like that. Detonate or spray the oil first, then detonate it afterwards. Burn them first, then detonate by throwing the oil onto them. It's, you know, wide range of stuff you can do. Here's the first awakening, which is crazy awesome animation, dude. The best out of all 4 female priests. You hook everybody. It's actually a hold. You kind of hook everybody up into the cross and crucify them right there, man. Just brutal. Burn the whole place up, too. And then even afterwards, you can do just really, really long hold change because of it. You can burn them with the explosion, then use the First Awakening, then burn them again with another flask explosion. It's really, really nice. The fire, by the way, doesn't come naturally. You'll see I don't have to have the fire. My skills are normal casting right now. But obviously, your main gimmick is the fire. You'll see the skill map to my A skill, the Holy Fire, or just space if you're being a full command. Space is used to activate the fire mode, and now all of my skills and basic attack have fire. In fact, where's he hiding, dude? Oh, look at him. Basic attack will detonate on its own too, so you don't even need to use your fire skills. You can just use basic attack. And surprisingly, this character, like I think Vanguard as well, has a backstep attack too. And she actually has access to some skills in her backstep. She has that firebomb, and she can even throw the flask in backstep. Pretty nice kind of mobility there that she has. You can kind of play around with backstep as well. I have to be completely compliant on just brute forcing your way. Can be a little bit finesse with it. Kobe. And that's about it, guys. I haven't really explained it, but some of your skills will have different animations depending on, again, like I kind of talked about it earlier, but the order that you decide to use your skills. For instance, this skill right here on the Summary Justice, right? The Summary Justice kind of looks like this when you cast it. It does like this downward slash, right? But if you decide to hit the opponent with the oil flask before you use Summary Justice, it does a different animation, and it's kind of, you know, this little kind of stuff that could, you know, if we do this, if we use the Summary, oh, I don't have it yet, but yeah, it's that little kind of stuff, and it does more damage and it does a longer hold. So it's just like the order does matter. You know, you can throw this out there, hit him with this, and now I do an upward slash and a little hold. You see him get knocked into the air as well. So it's just, that little stuff actually does matter. I know it's, you know, it may not seem like a big deal, but it's the kind of stuff that makes this character really, or any character really, much more involved. You know, it's not just a matter of just, oh, I'm just going to spam all my skills and dish out damage. No, it's some thought goes into what skills you're going to be using and which skills are going to be the best for this situation. For instance, right there, I just kind of changed my oil pretty discreetly and was able to use one hook move and blow everybody up with the oil right afterwards. So there's one more skill I haven't really used. Anybody who's caught on fire just gets detonated. I can detonate it even without the oil. With my level 70 skill, I think, which is extremely useful. Downward slash because I didn't have the oil detonated. Backstep into that. Man, just good combos. At the bottom left will indicate how many charges of my fire attacks that I can use. Right now I'm on 7, which is very great because the Holy Fire itself has a relatively low cooldown. Acting both as an active damage source, you know, I can just activate it. Gives me more charges, as well as it's a strong move in itself. It's a pretty good, you know, trash mob killer. It does like 1,000,000 damage, and it'll also buff you up and set you up for all the fire skills. So I think I've given everything I can about this class, about how it plays and stuff. So I mean, that's Inquisitor for you. Detonate the fire, play with this fire gimmick, keep lighting people on fire, and throw oil on them. That's really the gimmick. And it may not seem that involved, and it isn't, honestly. There's a lot more involved classes, but it is the most involved when it comes to, when we're talking about the female priests, for sure. The other female priests, honestly, don't have any systems really to go off of. They're played very straight. And even my most favorite female priest is not as kind of, I don't want to say gimmicky, but, you know, it doesn't have a system kind of call their own. It's played very straight, where this character, it's very, very obvious what they were trying to do from the very start with the whole fire gimmick. So I'm a big fan of it. I like playing it, and I think she is easily the second most fun female priest. So it's going to be hard to deny that, honestly. I think anybody who plays this class is having a lot of fun playing it, but really good moves too. There's a variation attack right there. Holy Fire. You know, managing your cooldowns is also something that you don't have to do as diligently as other classes. You know, this class has a lot of good moves. I think I've maxed pretty much everything that are good AoEs on their own, right? It's like, really, you're just kind of waiting to use a big AoE, and then if they're not dead, you can detonate them, and you'll have a lot of good moves to have in reserve to kind of finish people off. So I don't think you can right, at least right now, she doesn't have a lot of variation in her build. She doesn't need it because can max pretty much all of her core skills that revolve around fire. And just a good detonation right there. You can see they were all grouped up on fire, and it's easy as killing them all in one hit. Now I'm going to try to use my Awakening Perfect Room to showcase it is a group, and I've freaking crucified everybody on the screen, man. It's crazy. Obviously, I did more damage on the people I grabbed, though, so... Are you going to find any bosses yet? Gosh, I really hate this place. I really hate this dungeon, guys. So it's a good thing I'm recording. It's a good thing I'm recording in my hated dungeon. We hardly fight any bosses. The mobs are annoying as shit. Most importantly, the APCs. I forgot about those. APCs that come around you. Isabella's not nearly as bad as PP, but, you know, whenever PP swaps in, tags in, I gotta deal with her fucking ass. Oh, here it goes. Yeah, it's just that, you know, PP is the weakest character ever, and all of her scummins are always disrupting the flow of the game. They're getting aggro, they're attacking things that that aren't even alive. They're just wasting my time, really. So anyway, comboing them for no damage is giving them a million iframe. It's just so annoying, man. Anyway, hopefully it's only for a few more dungeons. Got our assist back up. Do like the fact that you can use your suction assist in here, Pandemonium. I know the damage is not going to be able to lightning dance anymore, sadly, but definitely can use that for killing rooms a lot easier with a class like this, right? Really, it's not that you're lacking in AoE, because you definitely have that. It's just that sometimes the range is higher than the Swifty can obviously make that a lot easier. Just not having to reuse skills on stragglers and stuff. Especially with the guys flying around in this dungeon so annoyingly. This class does have one group potential skill right here with the kind of twister move, in which case she also ignites everybody that she touches, so it's a really good setup for setting up for the oil class. So that's for normal detonation too. Finally get to fight a boss here. Okay, we're getting in. Let's see what we can get with this. We get it with this. And with the variation on that defoliation right here. Oops, I used her own skill right there. Okay, cool. So yeah, pretty much just chained all my skills together pretty quickly. And I probably could have thrown the flask at him directly like 3 times or something. Just crazy hole potential, crazy damage. I mean, just pretty consistent bursts. Really nice. Now, some people, like, I did talk about the difference between using the oil first and then, you know, and then detonating it, or setting them on fire first and then detonate it. Now, there is also a difference between the spray or the regular flash throw. You would think that the spray would be better because the AoE is better, but actually in most cases the detonation of the just the regular bomb is a little bit better if you're able to group them, just because of the hole potential. I would suggest, if you have the option and the enemies are grouped for it, that you throw the regular flask like that to get that big frost hold. If you just spray them with the flask, it doesn't get nearly as much. So I would just, if you have the option, I'm not saying that you should always do that, but just something I would do if I was playing class. And I am. So there you go. Fuck PP, man. And get a good assist. That's another thing I should say. See right there, you know, I kind of just sprayed it, and they're stuck there, but you don't get that cool impact, man. You don't get that awesome explosion damage. And yeah, remember that even your basic attack while you have the buff active is enough to detonate them. So really, it's just a matter, you can just extreme back attack, or, you know, backstep cutter them, whatever. You can detonate those flasks at any time. In fact, that skill, really, if you're playing this class to maximum efficiency, should always be on cooldown, right? Because there should be no excuse why you can't detonate it with having somebody ignited every single time, right? Should be no excuse. And even if you can't manage to hit them, like some people may not get the little fireball skill that you throw, because it's not really all that powerful. But hey, even if you're not able to get them on fire for whatever reason, You can just throw the oil flask in and prime them for a detonation afterwards. But I feel like if you're gonna play this class to maximum efficiency, man, getting them on fire should be no issue at all. You should be able to do that no matter what, I would assume. So right there, I think I just hit those guys through their iframe right there. I don't have it skilled, but it's called Purifying Flames. It looks like this. Everybody who has a mark of fire on them gets detonated. So I'm using that sometimes. It may not be so obvious, so I'm just letting you guys know. But yeah, guys, I've been kind of trying to explain the class because, like I said, this one probably is the most involved. But I do feel like, you know, my opinions of the class, like I was already mentioning, really fun class to play. I think it's something that, you know, if you care about systems, if you have fun playing this different systems, you'll have fun playing this class, no doubt. And just look at how amazing this first awakening is, man. Just so cool. And already it's like our third time that we can detonate. Ooh, little. See, I had it backwards that time. That time he wasn't on fire and I threw the oil and he didn't blow up, right? He only took the damage after. So if you want to get that impact, you want to get that explosion, make sure they're on fire before you throw the flask. Yeah, like I said, if you care about system stuff, guys, you know, if I'm going to rank them, right, because I've played all the classes that are like this. Exorcist is very similar after the reworks and even before. Vanguard is extremely similar to this class. He has more of a skill cancel system. But I think out of all those classes that are the big heavy hitters that use the big weapons, this one is the most fun. I think it has a system that is complemented all throughout her gameplay, you know. She reminds me very much like, you know, other classes that have this kind of feature. I guess you could say Rogue with her hit-end system, where all of her skills complement the hit-end system. I'd say maybe more along the lines of Skirmisher. Right there I used a spray because it had more AoE, and I was not confident that the regular throw would actually connect. So the spray is good sometimes, guys, just throwing that out. But detonation does have that range. Look at how big it hit. But like I was saying, yeah, this class is maybe like Skirmisher also, where he has a system like the Mirage system, which kind of defines the class all throughout, all levels of the game. All of his skills are revolving around it. This character, it's not very hard. It's not a very complex system like it could be on the Skirmisher or Elven Knight or something like that. But it's a system nonetheless, right? It's like all of her skills revolve around it. I don't doubt that her second awakening is also going to make it easier for her to maybe maintain the fire, or, you know, it's going to be fire related, right? And oil bomb related. So, you know, the fact that they were able to make a class that was a heavy hitter like this one and make an interesting system to go with it, I can get behind it. I always get behind it. It's just, I think it's just a little too simple, you know. It's just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep using oil bomb in all these kinds of different situations, you know, wreck everybody with it. So can't fault them for it though. It's a pretty cool system, unique. But like I said, third favorite class, guys. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit my favorite class, but just know this has a pretty high opinion of it. I think if you like those type of classes, if you play Vanguard or EXO, you have to give this one a shot, right? You have to. This is right up your alley. Big slam down. A couple of skills you can use in there, I think I mentioned, but oddly enough, the firebomb that you can throw forward can only be used in backstep, whereas, you know, and this skill is the only skill that can be used in the air. So I have a little bit of like tiny, minute differences. Like you can't throw the oil flask or Flakes Essence or Flakes Firebomb in the air, but you can sure as hell backstep it. You know, it's weird. So it's like they want you to be able to throw it in the air, but really just throw it only during backstep. Hey, fine by me. It's full either way. But guys, let's see what we can do against this boss here. Finally getting our revenge on Haley. Die! Look at this. We gotta crucify Haley, guys. We gotta do it. I know. It's fucked up, but we gotta do it. Ooh. She teleported, man. Let's shoot. Rope her back around. And just hit her with the spray, and the spray does quite a bit of damage right there. Boom. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. There was a little bit of Inquisitor, I almost said Exorcist, Inquisitor gameplay. I think she is really fun to play. A little bit of systems with knowing how to you know, the Flag's essence or setting it up in the fire and detonating it. Right there, you see right there, even when you set it up on the ground and don't actually put it on anybody, you get a little tiny explosion upwards, like a vertical spiral. Spray it on people, throw it on people before, after, detonate afterwards with the fire that you are obviously wielding with expertise. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is a little bit of Inquisitor action, and I will catch you nights later.